Well, blessings, blessings, and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JB Owen, and I'm here to talk about igniting humanity. That's right. I know this word is catching on, folks. People are getting excited to hear the word igniting humanity. I've been traveling quite a bit. New York, LA, Las Vegas, Houston, Newark, Canada, all over, talking about igniting humanity, and people are really dialing into this idea. In fact, they're awakening to the idea of igniting humanity. Today's theme is all about how to awaken, wake yourself up, get excited about how you can ignite humanity in the lives of others around you, starting with yourself. We all have ignite moments, those moments that kind of wake us up and make us feel connected to something deeper than ourselves. And then we get to a point in our lives where we want to do more for others instead of just ourselves. And that truly is the catalyst for igniting humanity. That's what's going to make humanity a better place. And I'm so proud to bring amazing guests on this show to talk about ways to ignite humanity. Now, we don't have to do it all. We don't have to do it all at once. We don't have to do it on a magnificently huge, magnetizing scale. What we do need to do is do it slowly, consistently, consecutively, truly connecting with ourselves and doing it in ways that it shines the light on others. And that's what igniting humanity is all about. All right, well, let's meet our amazing guest today. Dr. Shri Shukla is the founder of ViVaByShri, a health coaching and consulting firm. She's a published author, speaker, educator, and has a PhD in health social work from Rutgers University in New Jersey, with over 15 years of experience in the health industry. Dr. Shri turned to Ayurveda after a health crisis at age 32 and now blends her knowledge of both systems to serve her clients through an integrative mind, body, spirit approach. Currently, she is focused on the themes of fertility and pregnancy preparedness for high-achieving moms and stress management, emotional and mental health well-being for all. She truly is igniting humanity, and we're happy to have her on the show. Welcome, welcome, Dr. Shri.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you here talking about health. And that's a big thing for many, many people. We're getting all kinds of unique things unfolding in our world these days with the G5, and of course now with what everything's going on with the eclipse, of course, food and like there's just a conversation forever about the things that are impacting us that never have before in the past. And of course, our bodies are reflecting that impact. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of health on our lives?
Absolutely. I feel like health is a very foundational piece in life. And when we have a mind body system in alignment, really, and we are experiencing that alignment, life is so much better, and every aspect of life is thriving. So when our mind, body, soul is aligned, we experience better relationships, we are more productive, we have more energy, we have a spring in our step, so to say, and the quality of our life experience is subtly different from when this foundational piece is weak.
So help me understand. I may not be feeling at my best. Life isn't going great for me. Some things seem like they're challenging. How do I get my mind and my body and my spirit all in alignment?
Yeah, so that's a very big theme to go with, and it will obviously happen for the individual one step at a time
Mm-hmm.
and doing one thing at a time. Now, because I borrow heavily from an ancient medical system called Ayurveda, it's 3 to 5 thousand years old, and the main philosophy is that we are made of the same five elements as they exist in nature, which is air, ether, water, earth, and fire. And if we think of it, our bodies are made of similar elements. And so when these elements go out of balance, we go out of balance. And when these elements are within balance, as per our basic body constitution, which Ayurveda talks about a lot, then we feel more aligned. So that's the conceptual piece. But now, if we were to actually try to bring our bodies in alignment, depends on what is out of alignment, right? Is it are we too stressed? So if it's stress is the experience, then it's a full body experience. That's one thing to understand. It's not just a mental experience. Stress can come with a lot of physical symptoms, And this can be anything from fatigue, exhaustion, headaches. It can even be for some people poor digestive health. So stress can have symptoms which are very physical in nature, because our body is a very holistic system, and our cells are like a big mind of their own, and all the cells are like a mind. So we have to then start somewhere. The easiest place to start might be taking out more time to do 10 to 15 minutes of a meditation practice, for example, or to do 5 to 10 minutes of a breathing exercise. Now, when I work with people, it's a very specialized system. And the idea in Ayurveda is to give people exactly the kind of breath work they need, the type of food they need to heal, the type of meditation that they can likely do easily. And then we give oils and herbs to help with the healing. But this medicine, it revolves around the individual versus being a universal solution, saying breath work for all. So there are certain types of breath work that work for all, but there are many which are more specialized and given for particular healing.
I think it's a good point, because a lot of us feel like there's just one answer. There's just, the token answer that everyone's doing this, everyone's following this, everyone's eating this, everyone's doing this. And that really isn't the case. What's necessarily good for somebody else may not be good for me. And my disposition or we talked a little bit in the pre-show, my dosha might be completely different than someone else's. So what's good for one person, what's good for my husband may not be good for me at all. Or what's really good for me may not be good for my kids. And so what I love about this concept is really getting clear and connected to you as the individual and what's best for you. Not that it's better than anyone else, but what is truly best for your constitution and the best thing for your health.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. So talk a little bit about that. How can we start to understand and I love what you said about the elements. It's true. Like, we're all made up of water. We all need air. We're made up of the elements. We have all of these things. How do we start to uncover or even self-discover where we can improve?
So part of it is life experience, and the good old-fashioned listening to your body is a very important component when we're um, we feel like something is amiss, but we don't exactly know what to do about it. And so I think it's a skill set that we have to get really good at over a period of time. And it tends to shift. So the way we listen to our bodies in the 20s tends to be very different from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. And so it's a skill set that we have to constantly work on, and we have to constantly expand. And the body is constantly talking to us. She is giving us clues about everything, every input that we get. So when we watch a crying movie and we suddenly feel fear in the body, that's an input.
True.
It's telling you something. Now, whether you want to use that information or not is a separate issue. But we are constantly getting information from the body about what is good for us and what is not. And so just because we live in such a noisy world and we have so much sense perception overload, I think that's one of the reasons we have zoomed out of the ability, which is a very natural ability to be in tune with one's body.
I agree with you so much. And often we're not listening to the messages that we get. Sometimes I eat something and my body will be like, don't eat that. And so I've used to override it and be like, why not? It's great. Everyone's eating it. You love this. But my body would be like, don't eat that, or you don't want that, or don't eat any more of that, for example. Or even too, like, oh, it feels really cold. I need to turn up the temperature. Oh, never mind. It's fine. Keep the temperature down because you don't pay for heating. Like silly little things that we recondition our minds to say when our bodies are really telling us what they need. I think it's really important what you said, that we need to start listening and taking the time to really hear how our bodies need and what they need. As you shared, is there some things that we all can do universally that are best and good practices for each of us to try to adopt into our day?
Absolutely. So meditation, for which there are so many popular apps these days, is a very standard practice that everybody can try. And for those of us who are unable to meditate for one reason or the other, they can try as much as possible to put themselves in natural environments, such as gardens or just a walk by the river or a walk by the lake. But just putting ourselves closer to nature, it has therapeutic effects. And there's a lot of modern science, bench science, that also confirms this. Actually, a lot of modern science speaks to Ayurveda and ancient healing systems, and it's a great area of interest for me how they're always in conversation. And then one wonders, like, how did they know all this 3 to 5 thousand years ago?
I know, right?
And yeah, and I think that they probably knew because they lived in the midst of nature,
Mm-hmm. And in
and
the
so they
harmony
were.
of nature and in the harmony of the
Yeah,
seasons and in the harmony
yeah,
of how things were growing and harvesting and all of that. So true.
yeah, yeah,
We don't live in the same harmony anymore. In fact, I remember listening to a friend of mine saying, like, we don't run for our food anymore and try to catch it. Like, we don't have the same amount of exercise. We don't, try to catch a fish in a stream and, exert a bunch of exercise, which then helps us with our digestion. Like, we've really have slowed down a lot of our normal human functions from convenience, from vehicles, just bringing food to the grocery store.
yeah.
And also the same, I live in Canada, so if we're eating bananas in the middle of December, that's really not normal for what necessarily my body is used to. And so it is true that we've gone very far off of what our normalcy is, and to really be in great health and to ignite our lives to come back to this wonderful sense of balance. So meditating is one thing. Anything other you can suggest?
Absolutely. So breathing, breath work. Now, breath work, like I said earlier, has a lot of technical formats, but it also has some very simple, gentle formats. For example, doing an alternate nostril breathing is a very straightforward, gentle breath work practice that we can do. So just one breath at a time, and then we breathe through the other side very gently, very slowly. And for people who want to do advanced breath work, they can take their time and build their practice 5 minutes at a time and maybe go up to 30 minutes. Some people can really go very advanced and do up to an hour. But that's not necessary for the busy person who is on the run. Even doing 5 minutes of breathing in the morning after the meditation, there is a sequence and order to everything we do. So after the meditation, doing it for 5 minutes can be very helpful. It can be rejuvenative. It can be beneficial for coping with stress and stress related factors.
That's a good point, because all of us are facing stress in our own unique way. We're all having a little bit of heightened adrenaline, rushing to get the kids to school, rushing to get to work, rushing home from to get dinner on the table. Like, we're always sort of feeling that elevated stress level in our bodies. Chat a little bit about how stress, maybe when we reduce stress, some of the positive aspects of sort of taking the time to bring that rushing, even the rushing feeling of being busy, bringing that down to support us in a positive way.
So one of the main things is that in like we would describe today's worldly energy as vata energy, which is
Mm-hmm.
very airy and windy, and so there is excessive movement. So all communication, all technology, airplanes flying, this is all vata energy, and this tends to dominate our life in general. And vata energy is also, it comes up in life in the later years during the 50s and 60s, but broadly this energy really governs the world currently. And so grounding is a really important thing to do. So grounding in nature, like actually using our feet to be in gardens or in areas which feel like agricultural fields, that's a really good practice.
Mm.
Then yeah, that's one example.
I love
And
walking on the beach. I got to tell you, when I put my feet on the beach, I just feel different. I just feel like this beautiful
yeah,
rumble underneath my feet from the waves. I just feel like this expansiveness from the ocean. I just feel like everything is speaking more clearly. There's just so much. I just, as soon as I step on the beach, it's like everything changes for me. And it's a
absolutely, it's
really
just
powerful, it's
slow.
powerful.
Yeah, yeah, it's the slowing down principle. It's really important to slow down and just to be able to observe and to be able to observe the external environment that we are in and how it's affecting us, and then to be in tune with our inner world and how the context and the individual are matching. And it takes some practice and some knowledge, but it's a skill that we can develop over time. And sometimes it can take a little bit of a wake up moment, or
True.
something happens in life that really wakes us up to these things.
I call those ignite moments. We all have an ignite moment that wakes us up. Did you have an ignite moment that brought you into this work?
Yes, so I had been in the health space for a very long time, and in research centers and hospitals and in nonprofit organizations. But at 32, when I had a health crisis, it was shocking. It was out, like, it just kind of crumbled my world in many ways. And I had to think about like how I would redo my life. And I would say, looking back, that it was an opportunity for me. Really, it was a blessing in disguise to reflect on how I was not just living before, because I didn't have any typical bad habits, but also how I was thinking and how I was being, and how all of that created the context for an illness to occur. And I think it was this awakening and this waking up. It was almost like it was it was not one moment, but it was like a thread of moments that led to this like spiritual awakening piece in me, that who do I really want to be in this world? What is it that I want to give? What is it that I want to communicate with? And I had to work hard to like heal myself. I had 6 or 7 physicians at the time, and they wouldn't talk to each other, all the experts. And I kept wondering, like, they're working on my body, so why are they not talking to each other? And really, that's Ayurveda helped me a lot at the time. And I also found motivation, like purpose is such an important thing. And like I had to give up some pieces of my imagined life, but I was able to move forward with some other pieces of my imagined life. So I really wanted to be a mother, and at the time it was questionable because my body was just not supporting me. But through all the healing work that I did on myself, I was able to have my baby, and he's healthy and perfect. And so I think like the whole journey has been so worth it for me. Yeah, that's my ignite moment. And
I love it. Well, what I love is that you took something that was going on in your life and used it now to become part of your practice, part of your purpose, part of your mission, and obviously the way that you ignite humanity. Let's bring it all together. How does living in our optimum health, how is that going to make humanity a better place?
Absolutely, I think we can make the planet a better place,
Yes,
because the
exactly.
planet is always talking to us. And now with global warming, the planet is really talking very loudly to us. And the planet is telling us that, yes, I want to be a part of you, and I want you to use me, but I don't want you to exploit me.
Right.
And because we are part of nature, we are entitled to use the resources that the earth has given us, but we are not entitled to exploit them. And I think when we improve our health using more and more nature based modalities and living in nature and herbs and plants, we are honoring planet earth and what she has given us, and then we can integrate it in our lives and be closer and more one with the earth.
I think that's one of the nicest things I've heard anyone say. I mean, we get to use Earth, but we don't get to exploit it. And it's really, truly powerful that we get to enjoy the animals, we get to enjoy the waterfalls, we get to enjoy the glaciers, we get to enjoy the oceans, we get to enjoy so many things, and yet we are abusing it and not respecting it, and we are taking it for granted, and we are capitalizing on it. Like all of those things are not going to make it that's not longevity. That is not going to give us the earth that we need for centuries to come. And so I really appreciate when you live in your health for yourself, you have more pride in yourself, you have more self-worth, you feel good, you're connected to And if we're all connected to the planet, we're connected to our health, we're respectful of one another. I mean, I just see it layering and layering into this wonderful humanity that we can create. So, so beautiful. Such a beautiful reminder. Folks, if there's anything you are doing to exploit the earth or Mother Nature or nature itself, please just reconsider how important it is for us to have those resources for decades to come, for generations to come. We talked a little bit in the pre-show about the work you're doing now. Would you like to share? We talked a little bit about the theme of awaken. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about that you're kind of doing special on the planet?
I think what I'm doing, everything is special to me. So using plant-based medicine and using this personalized medicine system, I am helping women prepare for pregnancies and boost their fertility. And typically, what I've seen is that what is labeled as fertility issues are more like context of health issues. And so when I'm able to help women balance out their health and well-being, it's the most natural thing in the world for them to happen. And it happens very beautifully, timely. And the other piece is like the mental and emotional well-being piece. And what I have found is that during my experience when I was ill, it was almost as if the therapist that I was talking to could not understand what was going on in my body. And then the physicians I was talking to, they couldn't understand the mental health pieces that I was experiencing. And so in my work, I've really attempted to integrate both of these, and Ayurveda helps me to do that. And my background in health social work helps me to do that because I can draw from like talk therapy modalities, but I can also address the physical symptoms of the individuals and work with completely natural ingredients. So they have a context, because sometimes when things like depression or anxiety happen, they can repeat themselves. And it's such a common experience. I think it wouldn't be wrong to say that probably all of us are going to have at least one episode of like just feeling sad or depressed. The how the extent to which it happens could differ, but it would be safe to assume that that's going to happen. And so like if that's going to happen, we want to have very sustainable tools and very sustainable ways of doing things, so we're not dependent on the side effects that come from mainstream medication. And so we are more empowered.
Yes, very well said. And a lot of us don't always make the connection between, if we're not feeling well, then it affects our mental attitude. If our mental attitude isn't well, then it can affect our body. Those things are so connected, and we sometimes don't think they are. So if you're always worrying, if you're super stressed, if you're having anxiety, it's going to show up in your body. And of course, if your body is hurting, it's going to affect your emotions. And I think we sometimes forget that those are all interconnected. All right. Well, any last words you'd like to share with our audience to give them something to take home with them that they can maybe try today, or just some thoughts and feelings that will help them ignite their lives?
Yeah, absolutely. Stay very curious about how nature-based medicine can work for you. And every time you have a situation where you have to do mainstream medicine, first consider, can this problem be resolved with nature-based ingredients and in natural ways, or using one's own body? Have the little bit of patience and like explore the situation fully, and just being open to the idea of using alternative and complementary therapies.
And it's really great with your kids. I've been doing homeopathy with my children since they were born. And breathing is like one of the best things you can teach kids to do when they have a tummy ache. Teach them to do their breathing. When they're scared at night and they can't sleep, teach them to do their breathing. When they're going into school or a sports activity and there's a little bit of stress, show them how to do their breathing. It's really, really powerful for kids to do their breathing to help them in situations. And I've seen it work so great. Of course, we have to be models, and we have to be examples. So if you want your kids to do your breathing, you need to do it yourself. I have always taught my kids to do their breathing exercises. And there has been days when my little 8-year-old will be like, Mom, do your breathing, just do your breathing. And they're all teenagers now, but I remember when they were little, we would do our breathing all the time. So thank you so much for sharing that. Folks, if you want to know more about what Dr. Shri is up to, please check out her website. Find out how maybe potentially she can help you and awaken you to some new ideas on how you can make your health magnificent. Thank you so much for being here, my darling. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much.
All right, blessings. Well, folks, I hope that was interesting because, again, a lot of us are just eating on the run. We're eating what's in front of us. We're eating what they're giving us at the restaurants, and we're not really thinking about our health and how that is affecting us. Again, we're living in our homes. Maybe we're not recognizing our air conditioner or our furnace or cleaning our filters, or all the different things that we're exposing ourselves to in chemicals and cleaning supplies and laundry soap. It really is a big list of things that you could start slowly, one at a time, just becoming aware of how you can improve your health. And why? How does that relate to humanity? Well, of course, when we're ill, we are obviously reliant on the healthcare system and doing all kinds of things to take medicine and all of that. When we're healthy, we're not doing that. And when we're healthy, we're living in harmony with nature. And so get outside, be in nature, do something different. Take some time to really connect. Think about the seasons. Think about the food you're eating. Think about the ways you can make yourself better. And if you're not feeling fantastic, be interested in what's going to be best for you. Be very, very curious about your own unique makeup, and so how your genetic makeup on how you can be healthier in your life. All right, well, if you'd like to know more what we're doing to ignite humanity, we're doing all kinds of stuff. Go on over to our website, ignitehumanity.life, where we are talking about this show. Of course, we're talking about our compilation book that we're doing, Ignite Humanity, the largest compilation book yet, 280 authors. We're looking for people just like you who care about humanity, who want to be a part of this humanity book that's going to go global and talk about and awaken people to humanity. I really can get on my soapbox, but folks, we need to be thinking about humanity, and we need to be talking about humanity. And why and how can we do that? Well, each and every one of us has a story. Dr. Shri shared her story. And when you hear someone else's story and you hear them talking about how they overcame a challenge, it inspires you to realize that you too can do the same. And with this book, 280 authors talking about how their Ignite moments has propelled them to inspire a better humanity, well, that's powerful. And we invite you to be a part of that book. If you'd like to be a part of the show, well, check out our type form, fill out the information, and let us know a little bit more about you. And we'd love to have you on the show to interview you and talk about how you're igniting humanity. And of course, if you'd like to help with our donations, we are building schools in third world countries, and we love igniting literacy. And so if you feel that inspiring a child and allowing them to read, inspire, get connected to what's possible for them, well, we would love for you to be a part. Every single dollar you donate helps us buy a brick for our schools and really, truly make a difference. Last but not least, we're doing an event in Las Vegas in May. We are excited to invite you to come down and be a part of the Ignite community, talking about ways to ignite your life, ignite your brand, ignite your business, and ignite your breakthrough. All right. Hope it was a great show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.